So the Los Angeles Times is putting a sharp focus on California's pivotal role in the midterm battle, as Peter and I were just talking about. They said that Democrats have targeted 10 GOP-held seats here, including 7 won by Hillary Clinton in 2016. If they are shut out of more than a couple of districts in the primary, Democrats will have to scramble to find opportunities elsewhere in the country to flip the 23 seats they need to retake the House. Josh Holmes is a founding partner of Cavalry, LLC. Ty Masdorf is former deputy executive director of the 2016 Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee. Ty, let me start with you because you are a regular on this program, and about a month or so ago, maybe 6 weeks ago, you raised California as an issue that we should be looking at. It was fascinating to me how worried the Democrats have been leading up to this. How do you feel now going into today's primary?
Well, nobody really knows what's going to happen, and it's scary when you have 8 to 10 candidates, all of them in, 10 to 15% polling range. You just don't know who's going to get locked out. So there's a lot of frayed nerves. Look, usually there's no such thing as too much enthusiasm. Maybe if you're a Vikings fan at Lambeau Field. But in California, we have a little bit of too much enthusiasm on the Democratic side, and in the primary, it can cause some headaches.
So, but I also wanted to have you talk about, just real quickly before we go to Josh, that you think there is some peril for Republicans in tonight's primary. What is that?
The big peril for Republicans is they could get locked out of the statewide races. So you could have 2 Democrats running for Senate and 2 Democrats running for governor. And as Josh knows, top of the ticket drives turnout. And if you have only Democrats at top of the ticket spending millions of dollars to get Democratic votes out, that's good for Democrats in the general.
I see what you mean. All right, Josh, what do you think about that? I mean, we see reports even this morning in Axios telling us that people in California are distraught. It's too expensive. The regulations are too much. They feel it's not governed well. They're looking to leave the state. Gas is at $5 a gallon. I mean, Republicans should try to be competitive there, right?
Absolutely. Well, and they are. I mean, as noted, right, there's 7 districts that Hillary Clinton won that are held currently by Republicans. And that, that is the linchpin of the House Democratic efforts to retake the House. And so Republicans have had some success down the ballot. Now, statewide, they haven't won in over a decade. And I think, look, Ty's absolutely right. If there's 2 Democrats in both major statewide turnout operations, that's bad news for Republicans. But conversely, Democrats have some pretty bad news in 3 districts in Southern California right now, where there's a pretty good chance that there's 2 Republicans.
Let's put those up. It's the 48th, 49th, and 39th district. 2 of those have Republican incumbents that are retiring. That's Darrell Issa and Ed Royce. And then 1 is Dana Rohrabacher, who is a Republican incumbent who is vulnerable this year, but it's possible that he might be able to pull it out. Ty, let me ask you something. The Democrats have tried to figure out a way to consolidate support, and the DCCC put out a flyer on that 48th congressional district, that's where Dana Rohrabacher is, saying that the committee is asking people to vote for 1 candidate because the other 3 endorsed her. This district covers coastal areas south of Los Angeles, and Dana Rohrabacher is the incumbent. So is this the type of thing you had to do to try to get Democrats to consolidate behind one possible winner?
Absolutely, because the one of the challenges, Dana, about all these districts, they're in urban areas that are very expensive. So getting a candidate.
Ty, let me interrupt you because Josh's old boss, Mitch McConnell, has just started speaking. Let's listen in.
He's more important.
Mr. President, only 24 cloture votes in the first 2 years of the last 6 presidents on nominations. In addition to that, the president's made it quite clear he doesn't intend to sign another omnibus. And in order to prevent that, obviously we should do our work, which is to pass individual appropriation bills. Chairman Shelby and Senator Leahy, I think, have a very cooperative relationship in moving forward with that. We think we have a good chance of passing a number of appropriation bills. In order to do that and in order to deal with this nominations backlog, it's necessary for us to be here in August and to do our work. In the short term, we're going to turn to the defense authorization bill and the farm bill before the 1 week around July 4th. In addition to that, we're trying to get time agreements on the FAA bill, on the water infrastructure bill. All of these we need to be trying to process between now and the July recess. So that's the schedule for the next few months.
Congress has passed a defense authorization bill for the last 57 years without fail. One of the most important provisions in this legislation, beyond providing the resources and the training and the equipment that our military need in order to perform the job we've asked them to do, is a major step to prevent China from stealing or otherwise circumventing our laws to acquire cutting-edge technology that gives the United States a decided advantage when it comes to defending our country and keeping the peace.
All right, that's Senator John Cornyn. He was speaking right after Mitch McConnell, who made the big announcement today, Josh, that the Republicans are going to cancel recess. And that is in their power to do. They're going to work through all of these different things. So strategically, probably pretty smart politically, because one of the things that the Republicans want to show is momentum, that they can get things done. The House is going to send a whole bunch of work their way, and they want to show that they're going to at least try to get it done. But it also keeps those red state Democrats from being back in their states campaigning for the midterm elections. Your thoughts?
Yeah, no, look, I'm ecstatic about the decision. I think it makes a ton of sense from a policy point of view, from politics. I mean, good policy is good politics. You heard Senator McConnell there go through a litany of agenda items that they'd like to accomplish. Obviously, all of those things getting done is great for those of us who are right of center in a conservative reform mentality. So I think this is great news for Republicans. I think it can only help them in the fall.
All right, if you guys could stick around, this is Ty Masdorf and Josh Holmes. If you could stick around, we'll be right back after the break.